Namaste. In this video, we are going to talk about kombucha, and many people refer to it as the elixir of life. Uh, we don't know since how long people have been drinking kombucha, but it was first discovered in a remote village, either in north of China or Korea. We're not quite sure, where people went there to research on why all the villagers were living over 100 years. Most of them were a large number of centenarians in that village. And they tried to find out what is so different that they do. And they discovered that it is kombucha. Now, cha is the Chinese word for tea. In India also, it's called chai. So it is a kombu tea, you can call it, or kombucha. Now this is in the in the 90s when I started making kombucha. This was only passed on from person to person as a blessing. This was not commercially available like today. One can buy kombucha today in the market. A little expensive, but I still prefer to make it myself and tailor make it to my particular taste or my requirement. So the first requirement to make kombucha is a SCOBY. SCOBY is a type of yeast that is produced. Uh, it's something like this. This is a smaller piece, and you have larger pieces here as well. This is my kombucha bank, which I keep here. So every time you need to use SCOBY here, and the only way we could get it before was if it was given as a blessing to somebody. Today, I believe you can buy these things as well. You will need the SCOBY and a little bit of the culture, the liquid, and you make a mild tea and you ferment it, which we will do in a while. But let me explain to you certain other things about probiotics. So kombucha is considered as a probiotic. It has about 56 strains of probiotics compared to the commonly understood yogurt, which has only 3 types of probiotics. And with these 56 strands, you do have a very good microbiomes in your body. Microbiomes, as a body talker, we know are very essential in your body. 90% of our cells are actually microbiome, the bugs. We are only 10% of living cells. And it is said that if your microbiomes are healthy, you will be healthy. If your microbiome health is not good, there is no way one can be healthy. And microbiomes are there all over the body. It's on the skin, in your gut, everywhere. And this passage from your mouth to your anus is actually outside your body. And you need various kinds of bacteria to protect you from your body, from your skin to your blood barrier, so that bad bugs do not get into your blood. So the microbiomes or the bugs, you have the friendly bacteria, you have the unfriendly bacteria, and then you have the neutral bacteria, which in the environment can become unfriendly. Just like in the world, in the environment, if a good guy is in the company of a bad guy for a long time, he also becomes a bad guy. So the same thing happens inside your body. So it is very important that you keep increasing the population of the good bugs in your body, and they take care of your health in every possible way. You have them everywhere. You have them in your mouth, you have them in your eyes, your ears, all over your skin. They are not visible to the eye, but the largest number of bacteria are there in your gut. It's called the intestinal flora. And the intestines is also by body talkers called the third brain of the body. You have the head brain, which is just a processor. And then you have the heart brain, and then you have the gut brain. And the gut brain has more neurons than both the other brains put together. So your gut health becomes very, very important. So now a lot of people are interested. Their buzzwords are detoxing, removing, clearing your liver, clearing your kidneys of the heavy metals. And people use various methods to do that. But kombucha has this particular quality that is, it's very rich in amino acids. We need about 10 types of amino acids to detox the liver. And the most important of them is glucuronic acid. So this glucuronic acid produced by the kombucha goes on into a glucuronidation process, which helps you to detox the liver. Then you also have a lot of heavy metal poisoning, which kombucha helps you to clear through your kidneys. Now this can be called enzyme-rich probiotic and with antimicrobial properties. If you take probiotics from the market, just the pill, they have been stored for how long and we don't know they're really effective or not. But this is live probiotic. And other than this, there are other probiotics too, like kefir, kimchi, sauerkraut, and we will go on later on how to make this. But kombucha is the simplest, so we're going to start with this. Start with making this, right? And only caution is for those with candida problems, which are severe, should not be taking this, because this SCOBY is actually a yeast. So it's advisable to be cautious for people with severe candidas. And also nowadays there is an increase in autoimmune disorders where people don't really quite understand what is happening. So people with autoimmune disorders taking this, it may help you, it may not help you. So the best way is to try it first. If you don't feel good about it, discontinue. Also, those people for some reason who are not supposed to take even the minimal amount of alcohol, they want to be totally alcohol free, should not be taking this, because the final product of the kombucha, as it's fermented here, it contains from 0.5 to 1.5% of alcohol, compared to about a standard beer, which is 4 or 4.5% alcohol. So it does have a certain amount of alcohol. Now, another caution is we use a lot of cane sugar or refined sugar in making this. And some people may think that sugar, of course, is bad, but most of the sugar is utilized in growing the yeast, the SCOBY. So let's explain first how we are going to start this. So you have to get a SCOBY and a little culture. And let's say for 1 liter of water, you can take in a stainless steel vessel. You add 1 liter of water and 7 to 8 tablespoons of refined white sugar or cane sugar. Bring it to a boil and add some tea which has caffeine in it, right? A regular tea, black tea they say, because kombucha must contain some caffeine. That caffeine quantity is reduced to 1/3 in the final product. So there is no harm in taking that. If you don't want to use fresh tea leaves, you could use tea bags instead. So we are boiling this water, adding some black tea, and you can add a little bit of green tea, and bring it to a boil, adding 7 to 8 teaspoons of sugar. And after you have boiled this, you let it rest and cool down. And then you can take a glass jar. Now after this process, this SCOBY should not be touched by any metal, either clean hands or a wooden spoon or a plastic spoon. And the kombucha has to be made only in a glass vessel. Either you could take a jar where you could you could put in a small piece of the SCOBY and a little bit of the culture, the liquid. And once the water is cooled down, you can fill the jug, or if you make in a vessel like this, you could also use. This way you will get a big SCOBY that is produced. After pouring the cool tea into this, you just put it in a cool, dark place. And another point I must mention is that some of the fermentation processes are aerobic and some are non-aerobic. The same with the bacteria in your system. Some are aerobic bacteria, some are anaerobic bacteria. That means some need oxygen to survive and some do not survive in an oxygen environment. So you have to block the air. Now for kombucha, this is an aerobic probiotic. So you can cover the lid with a loose cloth or a loose lid. So it needs a little air to breathe as well. So we have poured the cooled tea into a vessel, either a large bowl or into a glass container with a SCOBY inside and a little bit of the culture. And then we take this and put it in a warm, dry place in a cupboard. And most people give it a kiss, a blessing, and leave it for a minimum period of 7 days. Now the period for fermentation is from 7 days to 12 days according to how you want the product. At 7 days, it will be slightly sweet. The 8th day, it will start getting a more vinegar taste, and the sweetness will go on reducing if you increase. And if you can't handle a very pungent acidic taste, then you should, I think, take it off in 7 or 8 days. And if you're able to tolerate a little bit stronger version of the kombucha, then you can ferment it a bit longer, but not more than 9 to 10 days, I would say. So once your kombucha is ready, you can just take it out in a jar, sieve it, because there will be some particles of the yeast of the SCOBY remaining in the liquid, which we don't want to be consuming because they can grow yeast in your body. So you sieve it and put it in a clear vessel, put it in the refrigerator, and whenever you feel like drinking, you can have like 100 ml to 150 ml every day. So this should last you for about a week. Now, if you want to go further to make it more exciting and you want some flavors in the kombucha, that is called the second level of fermentation. So this was the first level. If you want to go on to the second level of fermentation where you can add some fruits or some flavors, then after the first level, you remove the SCOBY and put it away in your bag, and then you can add your fruits, oranges or whatever you like, and just leave it for some more time. That will give you a better flavor. Now each time you make the kombucha, you put the SCOBY inside, it produces another SCOBY. So you have a baby born, a baby SCOBY, which also you can keep in your storage or use either of those pieces for your next lot of kombucha that you make. And if you have excessive SCOBYs, you can use them either to wash your hair or rub them on your skin. It has a very good effect. So this is how you make the kombucha, your first fermentation and also your second fermentation. And then we will go on later on to talk about the ferments which do not require air. We have to be airtight. That is something like this is kvass. Kvass is a Russian drink. We have made this with beetroot. You can make it with other things also, with salt and pure water, and we ferment it for 2 to 3 days. But this one should be airtight, and we will talk about this later. And then I think this is the easiest probiotic for you to try. So I wish you good luck, good health, and happy kombucha drinking. Thank you.